Hello, hello. Uta here. With a few interesting experiences, I have some suspicions about moderator types uh, messing with my WordPress blog, which I can't upload anything on anymore. I'm thinking of starting a Substack if I can do it without having to pay big fees. If I do a Substack blog, it would always be free. I never monetize. This channel is not monetized. Uh, Thank you for returning back, all the loyal stalwarts, and thank you for coming on, new subscribers. We now have over 2,600 subscribers, and that should help the algorithm. I have a frond coming up in my pot of asparagus fern, but it doesn't fit into the frame at the moment. Okay, so, and then the other thing is, I had YouTube hiding a comment that said, "There are only two genders, hooray." And that had all these warnings for me that I might get upset when I open this comment and should I approve it and all this kind of stuff. It's a comment that was held. And so that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm thinking maybe the word gender is especially flagged recently because my guess is that people who are in blue and woke cities and states who work in this social media field, and they are a nettie. They are a man who ideates a female persona and puts on makeup and a floofy outfit and says he's female. Those types who get themselves into these moderation censorship jobs, which they seek out. I just am a little suspicious about that. I think that it's pretty clear that there is Antifa-like responses to the new executive order about who is male and who is female. And I had a video that normally takes a half hour to upload, just suddenly have checks that it said it's taking longer than usual, something like that. And so I deleted it. I am just wondering if anybody else is hearing this, let us know in the comments. Please do like and subscribe and share. So the reason I called this the woo woo and the executive order is regarding this individual who calls himself Brianna Wu. And he is going around being the apologist and telling individuals like Eli Erlich, who is a male who thinks he's a female, but he's very, very radical and extreme about it. Wu is telling Ehrlich that what Ehrlich is saying is all woo. So that's why I did this whole little preface, and I don't have woo in until kind of the midsection of this video. So this Brianna Wu is appearing all over the place, and I just saw this morning on the channel called The Free Press, Brianna Wu and Batya Ungar-Sargon and Bari Weiss were on, and they were kind of wringing their hands about how the men who have done the surgeries, like my ex-husband, really must be accommodated. That's what it sounded like. And this is a section of the the executive order on what is sex and what are sex segregated spaces. That is part 4, privacy in intimate spaces. And why someone who is supposedly a supporter of women's rights, why uh, he would, start talking about his surgeries when we're talking about men being violent to women in women's prisons who have sometimes been convicted of, sex crimes and so on. And, Bari Weiss and Batya Ungar-Sargon, I'm sorry, you blew it. You have to talk the truth. The woo-woos have to understand that women have been attacked, women have been assaulted, and some women have been killed, some of them by their lingerie-wearing husband. That is a reality. That is the group that this supposedly moderate person is associating himself with, and he's feeling like collateral damage when women like me, trans widows, have been collateral damage for decades now, and we no longer accept it. So the problem is that he got bad therapy and bad advice 17 years ago or whatever it is that he had the surgeries, because I thought maybe he was just a tucker, a constant tucker, but he apparently had that castration, etc. surgery. And the reason he has the last name WU is because he married an older Chinese man whose last name was WU. I do find that kind of ironic. Anyway, so I will see if I can upload this. Please do like and share. It's going to be important, I think I can tell here, because maybe on Facebook they're not going to do this censorship stuff anymore. I guess on X they're not. I'm still banned from X for whatever reason. Let me read the section. Okay. Privacy and intimate spaces. This section requires the Attorney General and the Secretary of Homeland Security to prevent males from being housed in women's prisons and detention facilities, including, where necessary, amendments to the implementing regulations of the Prison Rape Elimination Act, PREA, which were promulgated in 2012 and permit men to be housed in such facilities under certain circumstances. It prohibits the expenditure of federal funds on medical procedures designed to, in quotes, conform an inmate's appearance to that of the opposite sex. And this is the reality that our dear Brianna can't live with, because he had surgeries to make his body conform with his envisionment of, with his vision of the embodiment of femaleness. And it doesn't make you a female. It doesn't give you the capacity, the physical function of vagina, labia, vulva, clitoris. It doesn't give you that. And doctors, you're doing wrong. You need to stop. Okay. So no more federally funded convicts having medical procedures designed to conform an inmate's appearance to that of the opposite sex. Generally, it requires agencies to effectuate this policy by taking appropriate action to ensure that intimate spaces designed for women and girls and females, or for men, boys, and males, are designated by sex and not identity. And number one, the doctors ventured into the legal sphere, just like the surgeon who altered Nettie's body in 1996, sent him back from Stanford University Medical with this letter that he used to get his name change, where a doctor is saying, this patient is now legally a female. Now, that was never discussed, and women were never consulted about what we want to be legally a female. This was mostly male doctors, some of them, like Marcy Mark Bowers, male doctors who think they're female, who make money and are dealing with what is probably other psychological illness issues by doing this big body alteration. And the men who are violent, who get those surgeries, are still violent, often towards women and children. And they just use other objects if they don't have the male member. And also, the things that Mr. Wu said in that interview on the Free Press channel, about 2/3 of the way through this video, were actually promoting these operations, which no one should do. It was supposed to be, according to Dr. Ray Blanchard, something that was only considered seriously after a period of 2 years of cross-dressing full-time 24/7, which of course you can't do that full-time 24/7 because when you're sleeping, you are your sexed body and your unconscious dreams, your dreams as your sex. And when you're in the shower and stuff like that, you are your sexed body. That is, you are dealing with your body. There are much better ways to deal with that negative rumination and self-hate and masochism. I don't want anyone to be encouraged to do wrong sex hormones and get surgeries on their genitals so that they are allowed to go into the intimate spaces of the opposite sex. That is a very bad concept to promote. It's a very bad concept to say, well, I do have this qualification because I had those painful and dangerous surgeries. No, that does not qualify you if you were born male as a female. And all of the adult male transitioners do not pass. And in fact, those children who were influenced and gaslit and brainwashed and indoctrinated and were put on puberty blockers and then put on opposite sex hormones and then got surgeries or not, if they got puberty blockers and all that stuff, there are certain distinctive ways which are evidenced in the body. And so there's a look. Just like, just go ahead and shave half of your head, dye your hair different colors, wear silly clothes, that give off a message. But don't start doing these surgeries. No, Mr. Wu, stop advocating for that. Thanks, everyone. Let's see what happens with this video.